Yo guys, this is Amel, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make future bass in a similar style to artists like HALIENE or Excision. So to start off with, let's focus on the most important element, the chord stack. Now, the key to making a good chord stack is to use a lot of layers. In this case, I have 6 of them, and they sound like this individually. For processing, I'm using an EQ, some OTT, a second EQ, and a peak controller and reverb to give the chords a little wetness. Let's talk about leads. Leads in this style of music tend to be fairly straightforward and simple. For my lead, I use just 3 layers. For processing, I'm using a stock EQ, a tiny bit of distortion, a bit more EQ, and finally a lot of reverb. Make it very, very wet. To fill out some frequencies, I also added this lower harmony, as well as this upper harmony, which mimics the vocal chops in the original track. I also added these reverse vocal chops to fill up the space. Finally, with all of that together, the leads sound like this. It's time to talk about
the bass.
For the mid bass, I used 4 individual layers. And of course, we can't forget the sub bass. For processing the mid basses, I used an EQ, some OTT, one of my favorites, Camel Crusher, some sausage fattener, and finally one last EQ. For the sub, there's super simple processing. It's just one EQ and a tiny bit of Camel Crusher as well as sausage fattener for a bit of added distortion. To spice up the bass, use some growls and effects to fill up the spaces. And lastly, if you really want to fill up your track, try using some white noise as well as some background ambience. Altogether, the instruments should sound pretty sick. To make the drums, we're going to start by adding a fat kick and snare. On top of that, add some toms for extra rhythm. Finally, add some sweeps, rides, and crashes to fill up the high end. Altogether, we should now have some pretty powerful drums. What's up guys, quick interruption to remind you that as always, the FLP will be available down in the description below. Also, I'm trying something new this video, which is that if you just want to get the synth presets without buying the whole FLP, I'm actually going to be doing that. So I'll be bundling together essentially a mini sound bank of all the sounds that I've used in this tutorial. So if you want that, just the sound presets and not the full FLP, I will also put a second link down there. Okay, that's it from me. Back to the tutorial to hear the final result. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. It really means a lot to me. If you're interested in checking out any of my projects and FLPs, head over to amelmusic.gumroad.com and find all my downloads there. If you're interested in finding out more about me or purchasing any of my soundbanks, head over to my official website at amel-music.com. And last but certainly not least, if you're interested in listening to my original music, you can check me out on either Spotify or right here on YouTube, where I've organized all my music into playlists, including my official releases, bootlegs, as well as remixes. Again, thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't done so already, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys back in the next one.